Form 3 Coordinate Geometry Revision Worksheet. Number 1. So they give us 2 points and they want us to find the gradient of these 2 points. So we'll call this x1, we'll call this y1, we'll call this x2, we'll call this y2. So we know that the gradient is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So that gives us 1 minus 6 over minus 7 minus 2. And we must be careful with our signs. So we'll get minus 5 over minus 7 plus 2, which gives us minus 5 over minus 5, which gives us 1. Number 2. They would like us to state the gradient and the y-intercept of the following lines. So we know that the gradient is the coefficient of x when it is in the form y equal mx plus b. So the coefficient of x here is minus 3. So for A, the gradient is minus 3 and the y-intercept is 7. For B, the gradient is minus 1 and the y-intercept is minus 4. And for C, we first have to bring it to the form y equal mx plus c. So we're going to divide everything by 3. When we divide everything by 3, we get y is equal to 3x minus 2. So the gradient is 3 and b is minus 2. Number 3. For the gradient of parallel lines, we know the gradient of parallel lines are equal. So the gradient of this line is 5. So therefore the gradient of a line that is parallel to it would also be 5. Number 4. They want the gradient of a line that is perpendicular to the following line. So we know that if the gradient is perpendicular, right, then it would, we flip the fraction, change the sign. So the gradient of this line is minus 2. So the perpendicular gradient would be, this is minus 2 over 1, so it would be 1 over 2, positive. And we know that when we multiply the 2, so minus 2 multiplied by a half gives us minus 1. Because we know when perpendicular gradients multiply, we get minus 1. So the gradient of a line that is perpendicular to this line would be a half. Number 5. We have 2 points, S and T, and they're asking us to find the gradient of this line. So we know we'll call this x1, y1, we'll call this x2, y2. So we know the gradient is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So the gradient would be equal to minus 2 minus 8 over 0 minus 5, which gives us minus 10 over minus 5, which gives us 2. So if the gradient is 2, we choose any of the points. So we could use the first point. So in the first point, x is equal to 5, y is equal to 8, and we know that m is equal to 2 because we just worked that out. So we substitute that into y equal mx plus b. We will then get that 8 is equal to 2 by 5 plus b. 8 is equal to 10 plus b. We minus 10 from both sides and we will then get minus 2 is equal to b. Therefore, the equation of the line is y is equal to 2x minus 2. Number 6, they would like the equation of the two lines shown. So let's deal with this line first. So let us look at the gradient. We see it is a positive sloping gradient. So we know that the gradient would be positive. And we know that it is vertical over horizontal. So that is 2 over 1. So we know the gradient is 2. The slope of it is 2. And it cuts the y-axis at minus 3. So y equal 2x minus 3 is the equation of the first line. And the next line, we know that it is a negative slope because from left to right it goes down and we go vertical over horizontal, so that is 3 over 1, so the gradient is minus 3. And it cuts the y-axis at positive 2, so the equation of this line is y is equal to minus 3x plus 2. Alternatively, you could have selected 2 points on the line and do like what we did in number 5, work out the gradients and then work out the equation of the line. You could have done that, you would have gotten it correct as well.